Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a live Twitter space. This is a very special one tonight. We will start the live space on Twitter. If you have a question, please feel free to ask, and we will try to get you in as much as we can. It's a very special space tonight. We are going to start it now. Okay, before we do, we want to remind you, if you are able to hear the Twitter speakers, please let me know, and we will get this started. There we go. So that's going to be me. So here we go. We're going to set this up right about now. Let me talk to the Twitter. Let me talk to my Twitter audience. Hold on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this special edition of the Twitter Space. We are going to get started. Lorraine, I'm going to get the co-host Lorraine in here first. We have a special guest tonight. We're getting co-hosts for our two co-hosts. Get them in. There's going to be a lot of requests. Lorraine and Vic and I will go over the ground rules. So Lorraine's a co-host. Lorraine, good evening. Can you hear? Oh, Lorraine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Daniel. How are you?
Good. We're getting this started. I'm simulcasting it on YouTube right now.
Really?
Yes, it's on right now. I'm doing it right now. I'm about to get it simulcast so I can put it up on my Anchor podcast tomorrow. Vic, Socks, good evening. Before we start, you want to go over any of the ground rules?
Well, first of all, the space is being recorded
on YouTube. It's not being recorded on Twitter. It's being recorded on YouTube.
I'm seeing the red button in the top left hand.
Oh man, yeah, it is being recorded. So just so you know, I thought I took that off, but that's okay.
No, basically, tonight we're gonna have a bunch of surprise guests. We named a couple of them: Al Blades Jr., Jafari Harvey. We have a couple of the other LifeWallet athletes. It's not all football. It's going to be some basketball, some volleyball, and they're going to come in and they're going to speak. We're going to ask them some questions, and we're going to open it up to the fan base for them to ask some questions. And one of the things we're going to do is after you ask your question, we're just going to politely remove you from speaker to listener so we could get the other people in to ask questions as well to make it fair. Let's just all have a good time. And then Mr. Ruiz and Alex and Johnny, they're going to come on and speak. We're going to talk about the winners, and we're going to have the winners share their experience. We want to know who picked your winning ticket, and we just want to know how you feel about it and share it with everybody.
Okay, for my YouTube audience, are you able to hear the speakers? If you are, just please put your name put it in the chat, and I will get you in. So we just want to let you in. So I'll see all that and as we go in there. So Stocks, Lorraine, when you start letting the guests in, please do so.
All right, and I would just ask everyone to be respectful. We are going to have athletes on the line, and we're all big fans, but they also deserve respect and don't talk over each other. We're going to try to. Daniel runs a very organized space, and we'd like everyone to talk one at a time. Daniel will call on you after you request, and you'll have your moment. And then, as Stock said, we'll put you in as a listener, and we'll listen to the answer to your question.
Okay, so when we will get started. Should we wait for Mr. Ruiz, or should we start getting people in until Mr. Ruiz comes in?
Well, it's only 8:52, so why don't we let the audience build up a little bit?
Okay, so let's start with D Briz.
How are you guys doing? I guess I'll save my question for the end because it's more, as I understand that he's going to be covering, John, is the travel at the tail end. So I'll let other people get their questions in at the outset. But thanks for doing this, guys.
Hey, anytime, any.
All right, yeah, we don't know what specifics he's going to cover. We'll find that out. Yes, definitely towards the end, because we're going to deal with the athletes first. As the athletes come on, we'll go ahead and get them in, and then we'll deal with the winners, and then the details at the end.
Yeah, hold on. All right. Let's get. We have some requests. Start letting them in slowly.
Danny, how are you?
Good. Good evening.
Hey, just wanted to know two questions. A, what are your thoughts on the turnover chain being retired? B, Desmond Howard said today that he liked the Hurricanes in a big way in the wide open ACC. Wanted to hear your thoughts on those two things.
Okay, Stocks, Lorraine, you want to take that first?
I agree with him about us being big contenders. Looking for big things this year.
Definitely.
I'm not going to make a prediction on how I feel, how many games we're going to win, because I'm not very good at that. I just want to take it one game at a time, but I do think that we have the potential to knock off one of the big wigs on the road, either at Clemson or at Texas A&M, and I definitely see us getting to the ACC championship, but I'm very, very optimistic about this year. I'm very, very excited.
As I am. And the turnover chain, I think the media just picked up on it yesterday. I mean, we were all told, and Canes fans are aware, back in January, that they were retiring the turnover chain. Unbeknownst to me, apparently it's been taken out of the display cases. I personally feel like it should be on display because there were some good years with the turnover chain. But I get that Mario doesn't feel it's part of the culture any longer, and I think it made its way through, and it's time to move on to winning games. That would be my feeling.
Okay, Paul Decker, you're up.
Hey, Henry, I think we're in.
We can't understand you, Paul.
I see. Yeah, we got to move on to the next one because Paul. We got to move on to the next one.
Got a bad connection there.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll get dropped off. Let's get our next. Go ahead.
Lefty.
All right, go ahead.
He's connecting.
He's on a continuing connection.
All right, we'll do John. He's connecting. Okay, John, what's on your mind, my man?
Unmute yourself, John. Bottom left corner.
Right. All right. Thank you for having me. I'm just curious. I noticed that the Pac-10, or Pac-12, I should say, and the Big 12, their partnership is kind of out the window now. And I know the SEC and ACC have both said, hey, we're not really, doing anything. Of course, that would change if Notre Dame did whatever. But does that really change anything as far as the realignment, and how do you think that could affect UM? Thank you.
Good question there. I personally haven't been following the realignment very much. One of the issues I feel that a lot of these realignments aren't considering is the travel back and forth that these kids have to go through if the East Coast is constantly playing the West Coast. So I think they need to consider that with just the travel time and the wear and tear on the kids with the time changes.
Very good point. You know, when you got a team from California flying into Michigan that has to play a game at 12 o'clock noon starting time, their bodies are going to be on 9 a.m. time. And not only that, it takes, you know, at least a day. You know, even in Major League Baseball, when a team flies from the West Coast to the East Coast, you know, they usually give them a day off to get their bodies adjusted. So I guess they're going to have to fly out on Thursday.
And these kids are going to school. I mean, they're going to school. They're missing classes. And I think people only consider football stock. I mean, we're talking track, swimming, girls, softball. I mean, there's a bunch of sports. And when you're now aligned in these groups, that's why they were set up in the first place. People on the East Coast played the East Coast. People on the West Coast played the West Coast. So you've got to consider also the expenses.
All right, listen.
A lot of college programs that don't have big football programs are hurting.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me. We have a special guest. Introduce him, please. His name is John Ruiz, the legendary Mr. John Ruiz. John, good evening and welcome, sir.
Welcome, John.
How you guys doing? I'm not that important, believe me.
Thanks for joining us tonight, John.
You're welcome. I'm hoping, I told my two boys to join also, and there's a number of others from the office that have participated in this whole event. So that's good for everybody to meet everybody.
Yeah, so John, we went over with Diana the syllabus of what we're going to do tonight. We're going to start off once the athletes come in first, because they have their morning workouts, and I believe tomorrow's the last one before they have a 10-day vacation. And we're going to ask them some questions, and then I guess we would like to turn it over to you. Maybe you want to share a few things with the audience, and then we'll get the winners on of the raffle and have them share with us their experience. So I guess that's the itinerary for the evening. So we're just waiting on. So any of the athletes, if you're in the space, can you please request, and we will put you in as a speaker, and we're going to open it up to the audience. And the rule is one question, and then we're going to remove you to speak, and we're going to have somebody else ask the question after. All right, so Gabe Landers is in.
Okay, we have Mr. Landers in, right?
Yes.
All right,
yes,
Mr.
Yes.
Landers, good evening, sir, and you are on.
Hi, how are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for coming.
So tomorrow's your last workout, and then you got 10 days off, and then you got camp. So, Gabe, what are your goals for the upcoming season?
Really, just to take it all in. Right now, just got here, just had my last semester, learning under Clay James right now. So, just taking it all in, learning what it takes to be a Miami Hurricane, and yeah, just working.
And how are you liking the culture at UM so far?
I'm loving it. I feel like all the guys are pretty much my family now. I mean, they all feel it's really close. Even among like position groups, it's a really close knit family. Just really focusing on winning, and going after the championship. You know.
Well, fantastic.
Okay. have somebody from the audience ask him a question.
Which one?
MCDC,
Okay, yeah.
you're up.
Hello, MCDC. You're up. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
He's trying to connect.
Says he's connecting.
Okay, he's connecting. Okay, when he's connected, he speaks. Is he connected?
It's not connected yet. Don't know why it's so slow tonight.
I don't know. I don't know why. So let's see. Maybe see if he comes back and come back. Do we have any other speaker? Anyone else that's going to speak next? Lorraine
We've
or
got Chris.
yeah, let's get Chris in.
Chris L.
Chris L. Let's get Chris L in.
I see Clay James is in.
All right, get him in.
Okay, Clay, please hit the request button.
By the way, while Clay does that, I see that my son Alex is also on.
Okay. So we get him in next. So Stock, Lorraine, just get him in.
All right, Clay.
Alex, I just invited you to speak.
Okay, so go ahead.
Clay's on. Clay's on.
Yeah, Clay, you gotta turn the mic on.
Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome, Clay. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Great. Thanks for joining the space. Why don't you go ahead and tell the fans how you got to the University of Miami, how long you've been here, and what are some of your goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So I got recruited to come to Miami in 2018. That was my senior year of high school. I mainly came to play for the coaching staff that was here at the time, and I didn't really know a whole lot about Miami, to be honest with you, coming in. And, since the day I've gotten here, it's just been nothing short of amazing. I've completely fallen in love with the university and the area and the people. So, that's been incredible. This is going to be my fifth year, so fifth and last year. So it's a little surreal, but I'm excited to kind of move on to the next step after this year. In terms of this year, I think we're, looking pretty good as a team. I'm personally really excited. I think we have great leadership. We have a great culture that's being built in our building. And we have a lot of backing from, great fans, like people that are in this space, like John and, everybody at LifeWallet. And, I'm so excited personally and also, organizationally. So it should be a great year. I'm really excited.
So, Clay, what are your thoughts on your new head coach, Mario Cristobal?
He's the man. He's been nothing short of incredible so far. I mean, it's really inspiring the way he comes to work every day. I don't know that I've met another human that works harder than him. If you come into the building into Hecht at pretty much any time of day, he's in there working up in his office. So just really professional, and he's so maybe experienced is the word. I've just been really blown away by what he's brought in terms of the coaching staff and the culture. So I'm really, I feel blessed to be here, kind of overlapping timelines with him. So
For our YouTube audience, if you have any questions for the athletes, please put it in the chat box and I'll get you in.
50-year seniors on the team? You're like one of the leaders?
I guess you could say that. I'm definitely an older guy. Been around the block a little bit, seen some things.
That's great. Well, we appreciate. Go ahead.
What's one of the biggest changes you see from the switch over to the staff that you think is going to be a positive influence on the team?
Oh, that's a great question. It's more so of it's hard to say, put into words exactly what it is. I think it's more of a feeling. There's a different kind of aura around the building. The confidence that I think everybody's walking around with is because, everybody knows the work that we put in. Coach has been huge on that. Just coming to work every day and kind of blocking out the noise from everything else. So I think that putting in the kind of work that he is requiring of us kind of instills a lot of confidence in you. It just makes you feel really prepared when going into the season. I know everybody in the team feels really good and is doing really well, physically
early, so I think everybody's ready. I'd say that's the biggest difference. It's more of a feeling than it is anything else, but I definitely think you can see it. I think it'll be pretty evident on Saturdays.
That's great to hear. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Clay, when workouts start, what are the expectations you guys, that Mario Cristobal and the staff has put on you guys?
We don't really talk. We haven't really talked a whole lot about wins and losses. It's more of a win the day kind of approach. You got to come in the building. You got to be a good person. You have to work really hard. And if you do those things, then I think you kind of set yourself up for success down the line. I think schematically we're doing great things. In the weight room, we're doing great things. Coach Veld's been incredible to work with. I don't know that we've really talked about a whole lot of long-term goals. It's more so just been come in, put your head down, and go to work every day, which I personally love.
So what are you going to be doing the next 10 days after tomorrow's last workout?
Nothing too crazy. I have a girlfriend of about 9 months, and she's doing an internship in New York City, so I'm probably going to go visit her. Just kind of relax for a couple days, and then I get back Tuesday morning, and I'm gonna, probably get a couple snapping sessions in. We report on Sunday, so I just want to feel ready to go as possible.
All right, we have guys. We have Cam H on. Cam H, do you have a question for either Gabe or Clay?
Yeah, well, I have a just a general question for everyone. Kind of everyone involved. I'm an incoming student for finance, and in the past, I don't know, 5 years, ever since I've been like a Kane fan, just the student section and the general attendance has been, I think, not that it's necessarily horrible, but not as good as it should be. So how do we think that we boost that? Because I feel that that's like a big game day factor.
We got to get the fans to come.
Right. Well, personally, I think just based on what Clay is saying, how things are different in the cultures, I think we can expect a lot of fans to pick up on that and want to be at the games. Don't you agree, Clay?
Yeah, I think so. We're really optimistic that we packed the stadium this season. I can't tell you how much it means as a player to walk out of the tunnel and see the whole stadium rocking. I came on a visit for Notre Dame in 2017, and personally, that's what locked me into Miami. That I've never been to something like that in my life, and I haven't felt it repeated. So I think if we can get that kind of energy back in the Hard Rock, then I think it'll be a huge advantage for our team.
Well, certainly as fans, that is our goal, to pack the Rock this year. So I hope everyone attends the games, and it will obviously, as you say, help the team to win.
Hey, I actually have a question for John Ruiz.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
What's with your face, dude?
All right, remove. He was just removed.
No idea what they said.
Nah, I just removed him, John.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry about that, John. So go ahead, and I want to get Alex in. Alex, do you want to speak? And
No,
yes,
I'm just saying, hey guys,
Hey, and yes, Alex, I'm sitting next to you on the plane, just so you know that.
Absolutely, I wouldn't want any other way, Danny.
Do we have any of the other players that have joined? Raise your hand if you're a player a LifeWallet team member that's on.
All right.
For athlete.
All right.
Please request to speak. We'll let you in.
Continue.
Okay.
Lorraine, I don't know if everyone knows, but Lorraine has joined the LifeWallet team. She's actually working
Yes.
at the office now.
Yeah, and by the way, a question that just came to my attention. What makes us so excited about basketball? Is Nigel Pack in the space yet, guys?
Priscilla just got in.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if not, yeah. So I have a question from one of our YouTube audience members, by the way, and a question just came up. This is for John. What are your basketball expectations, John, this year?
Well, I went to the Elite Eight. They looked real good. I think they needed a little bit more depth. But they got some really strong players. I think Nigel Pack, can light it up from the outside for sure. He's got good ball handling, abilities, and if you look at his statistics, I mean, he's almost close to 45% three-point shooter. I mean, he's pretty clutch. I don't know if you guys saw a video that was released where he hit a shot like behind his back, where he threw the ball from behind his back.
He promised me he was going to do that for a buzzer beater in the Elite Eight.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think this guy, obviously not to the level of Curry thus far, but he's kind of that player. He's a very crafty player. He's a really nice kid. His family's amazing. I had the pleasure of meeting them, and I actually worked on the commercial with him directly, and I had a lot of fun because he's really good. I mean, he's got a great personality. But for the basketball team, look, I think Coach Al the players love him. He's got a great personality, and I think that's what you're seeing with Mario Cristobal also. You heard what Clay said. There's this new aura and environment, and I know from running into Coach Cristobal at different events, UM related, but he speaks very, very, very well. He gets people pumped up. People get amped up when he speaks. He speaks from the heart. He means well. Very, very, very smart guy, and that's what you need when you're gonna do anything. You need a leader who's strong. And somebody who can bring in cohesiveness, and by listening to all the players and see how they're having fun and they feel that there's a sense of unitedness. So, but going back to basketball, listen, I think we got a super solid team. And basketball, a lot of people ask why the NIL world and landscape in basketball is a little different. And there's only really like maybe 7 players that you're looking for in basketball that are pretty clutch. So from an NIL perspective, they command a little bit more money because there's a lot less of them. From the football perspective, there's so many of them that in order to get an NIL platform with a bunch of players that are positioned in different places, whether it's offense or defense, makes it a little bit more difficult. And everybody has to remember that these players have to put in the time and effort to work for the amount of pay that they're getting. And, we're very strict at LifeWallet. If they miss any of their obligations, we send them notification. Because if we don't do that, we're not doing our job. And on top of that, they'd be in violation of the contract, which is a violation of NCAA rules. So we're very strict about all that. And I think that listen, I just personally think that sometimes things happen and the timing is extremely important. Between what we're doing in LifeWallet and Coach Cristobal and the players and the excitement and the fans and everything else, it's like a really, really good situation. So I think that carries, through the school and education, basketball, football, baseball. I'm shortly going to be meeting with the athletic director, see if we can get men's golf and women's softball. That's going to happen week after next, because I have a very big hearing next week in Michigan.
Ooh. I like the fact that softball's coming in. I used to coach softball in a men's league, but yeah, look, the softball, hey, I'd love to see that. I'm sure Lorraine can agree with me on that.
Oh, absolutely. Would love to see women's softball. John, we have such strong softball talent here in South Florida. So we could really put together a good team here in South Florida for UM. So thank you for doing that, and good luck on your hearing next week.
Yeah, I see two.
Yeah,
Go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
Malman, you have a question? Yeah, I sure do. Hey, I wanted to get back to Clay and Gabe, if I could. Obviously, Coach Cristobal has brought in arguably one of the top coaching staffs in the entire country. We're all familiar with a lot of big names, Jason Taylor and some of those type of guys. But I'm curious, from the special teams perspective, a guy that maybe a lot of folks don't know too much about is Coach Maloof. And I know that he's got an incredible NFL pedigree. So I was just curious to hear your guys' take on what it's been like working with him, what he's been able to add to your game, and just kind of the experience that you've had with him thus far.
Yeah, definitely. He is I can definitely say he is a professional, a pro's pro. He's so detail oriented, and a lot of the stuff he's bringing into our room, I'm really excited about. In terms of being a specialist under him, it's been really great thus far. He definitely treats us like professionals, because we have a pretty old room. So yeah, he's excellent. I honest to God, I think we're going to win games because of that hire. Personally, he's incredible. I'm really excited to get to work with him even more. We had a great spring. I'm looking forward to a great fall with him. So
Yeah, I'm excited to hear you say that because I think special teams is so underrated. I mean, obviously not for you and Gabe, but I mean, as Canes fans, we felt some pain over the years in special teams. So to see a guy like that on board is just tremendous. How about you, Gabe? What about your thoughts?
I mean, he's an amazing coach. Just being under him for one semester, I've learned so much from him. Originally, I went to IMG for high school, and my Coach Miller, was ex-special teams coach for the NFL. So it's been a lot of similarities just professionally and just really getting to know the plays and everything else. So, yeah.
All right, thanks for that question, Malman. Any other players, if you've joined, please raise your hand.
I see a hand up. One question from our YouTube audience. Where's Nigel Pack from?
Kansas State, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that's one of our YouTubers had a question on that. I see a hand up here. Marcola. So let's get him on. So you're up.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Daniel. First off, just excited to see you guys on this call, and just want to congratulate Mr. John Ruiz for everything he's doing in Miami. It's cool to see. I'm a former athlete myself. I played ball in Montana. I'm Polynesian. And kind of curious, we're building a NFT platform and project featuring a bunch of our Polynesian athletes. We have a lot of cousins and nephews from all over the country: Oregon, Washington, USC, UCLA. So we're working with 25 schools with all these different athletes, Tongans and Samoans. And so I know you guys signed Big Francis over there, Nephew Francis, so that's exciting to see what you guys are doing in Miami. And I just wanted to ask you, Mr. John Ruiz, what's your thoughts on NFTs, and if you guys have anything going on? I know you're a business guy, seeing if you guys have anything in the works, and if you're open for like collabs or partnerships, strategic partnerships.
The answer is yes. So we've built a pretty big blockchain technology. It was built originally mostly for medical claims.
Wow.
Because that's the process of which it goes through, and to prevent fraud against the government and what we do, which is biometrics that's embedded into the claims, so that we're able to prove for the providers that the patient was there and that that's not a fraudulent billing.
Makes sense.
From the NFT perspective, we have LifeWallet Sports, and players like the players that you were talking about, irrespective of whether they're here in Miami or not, the platform we're launching is the largest platform that can really be capitalized through because of the way that we have it set up. So the reason why it's so different is every player has a value, but it's dependent on the business that they're mostly connected to, right? So I would say, for example, that if you have players like the ones that you're referring to,
yep,
that a samurai, a Benihana, has that kind of link to it because it's a restaurant and it flows well. So what we do is we do a very detailed analysis and we'll know if it's males or females that are following that particular athlete, if they're married or single, if that got kids, and what car they drive. We know all those dynamics, and so it's more spearheaded in terms of what we do and what we connect them with. To give you an example, like Morgan, that's a LifeWallet, NIL athlete.
Yeah.
A place like Top Golf would obviously pay more
Sure.
for than Samurai, for example, just to give you a comparison.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we've solidified that pretty well. We think we have the most unique platform in the country when it comes to that, when you add compliance and all the other dynamics to it, it's pretty good.
Gotcha. And so, okay, you guys are going to have compliance on it.
We have everything. We have, now when we sign deals together with the athletes, we send those contracts directly to compliance.
Makes sense.
Respective school that they're in, and we have our own, sort of, team that makes sure that we are compliant for ourselves, for the player. I think what people really need to understand is the reason why I'm such a, dotting I's and crossing T's is because I don't want to do anything that could jeopardize the players particularly or the university. And, the reality is if anything was to happen, the people that get damaged the most would be the players in the university. And I think the schools need to understand that, because if you have people that are putting deals together for players, those individuals or businesses can really affect the players or the school by being participant in these violations, which is why I've been such a strong proponent that the NCAA should have rules that requires the school to approve the different businesses that are putting NIL deals together for the athletes, that the NCAA approve the organizations, and that the players then have the comfort of knowing that it's a legitimate organization and that they're going to get paid, because I've been hearing about horror stories that kids are getting offers and they don't get paid.
Yeah, I heard that too. So you guys planning to launch that marketplace this fall or next year?
So no, it's ready to launch. We're probably going to launch it sometime next week. We've been waiting.
Nice.
So this is already done. So we have a biometrics agreement with the University of Miami for the U-Health component. Our biometrics technology is extremely advanced. What it really boils down to is, the ability to capture 2,200 points and identify a person. What's pretty cool about what's happening is everybody who won tickets, for the Texas A&M game, we're going to give those tickets through biometrics technology and identify them so that it links it to the ticket. So what we know today is that QR code and people going to whether it's a Heat game or otherwise, and you're pulling out the ticket and they rub that code, that thing's, that's old technology. We're coming in with a biometric technology that when you get to the particular location, the system captures, recognizes you, and you waltz right in.
Love it. Maybe someday we can work together.
Absolutely. All you need to do is DM mainly either Alexis Fernandez or Diana Diaz. They're both, I know Alexis is. I'm not sure if Diana's on. But just DM LifeWallet Sports, and we'll definitely connect with you.
Sounds good. Thank you, John.
Thank you for joining.
Also,
keep fighting the good fight.
You're welcome, brother.
Also, for our YouTube audience, if you have a question for any of the athletes, please put it in the chat box.
Hey, Danny, we have Priscilla in the space.
Oh.
One of the athletes.
Okay, get her on.
Hi, how are you guys? I'm Priscilla Hernandez.
How are you, Priscilla?
Hi, Priscilla.
Great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
What sport do you play?
I play volleyball at North Carolina State University. I previously played at the University of Miami for 4 years.
Okay.
What position did you play?
I was a libero, and I'm still a libero. I was a second team All ACC last year, and hopefully first team this year.
Well, welcome to the space. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
And tell us a little bit about your time at North Carolina State and the differences you see from Miami up to North Carolina.
So, obviously, they're two really different programs, but they have pretty similar cultures in the sense that they want to win, and everything's revolved around winning, just like the Miami football team is. And I came to North Carolina State mostly because my little sister plays here, so we're going to play together this year for my final year. I thought it was a good last chance to play with her. I played with her when I was younger, and getting to play with her again, it's just going to be an incredible opportunity. Not many people get to say they do that. I would say it's mostly different than UM just because it's in North Carolina, honestly. Like, I'm playing my same game that I played at UM, and it's just around different people. And I get to play under a coach that won an Olympic gold medal, so that's pretty cool to me.
Wow, that's fantastic. Will you be playing North Carolina A&T?
I don't believe so, but I can check for you and get back to you about that.
All right. My niece is going to be the starting libero there. That's my question. I love liberos.
That's awesome. Hey, we got something in common, I guess.
Definitely. Well, good luck this year. And you are a LifeWallet athlete, correct?
Yes, I am. So is my little sister. I don't know if you've seen our little bits that they've posted about us, but her name is Saskia Hernandez.
How are you liking being part of the LifeWallet team?
Honestly, it's incredible. I've had the most fun. I get contacted by them just to like say hello all the time, and you would think it was more like a job, but honestly, it's like the most fun I've had ever. We get to spend days there just shooting and talking to everybody, and they make me feel like a family. Like I would have never thought any NIL deal would make me feel so welcomed and loved. Oh, that's my little sister Saskia.
Hi everyone, I'm Saskia. I didn't realize my computer wasn't signed in, so I had to go for my phone. But
Okay.
yes, I play
Welcome.
with Chrissy.
Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for allowing me to join this call.
Anytime.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we were just talking to your sister about what it's like being part of the LifeWallet team. How have you liked being part of that team?
Oh my gosh, I love it. Like, it's actually the most fun I've ever had. Like, I always tell her when I'm in North Carolina that I always want to do stuff for LifeWallet because their crew is literally so amazing that it's literally just fun to be around them and to do stuff with them because, you know, they're so passionate about what they do.
Well, welcome to the team. That's great to hear. Tell us a little bit about, is this your first year at North Carolina State?
This is actually my second year. I'm a sophomore here now. So last year I actually played against Prissy, my sister. She played at the University of Miami.
More or less, we do assistance for traffic barrel people when they're in the area. If anybody needs assistance, the traffic barrel can assist with that. 19.9, we're trying to get us 20,000. Just make the traffic barrel one of the biggest things. So obviously Miami, it's 50-50 with Crystal Ball. We like to do that too. And, you know, traffic barrel's pretty good liberto at volleyball. Good luck.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Nice to hear from Traffic Barrel.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, good luck in your season, and we're just listening that you're going to be playing with your sister.
Yeah, so excited. It's
Thanks,
literally amazing.
And what position do you play?
I'm also libero, actually. So we're both the same position, but what's good is that we compete a lot, and we have a lot of fun together because we actually, we go hard at each other because obviously she's my older sister and I'm her younger sister, so we expect the best out of each other, but we know that we can help each other become the best version of ourselves.
And traffic, listen to me.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Yeah.
Traffic
Okay.
barrel here for assistance if needed.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want who else is speaking right now?
I believe Saskia was speaking.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Let's get Sasha speaking. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I was a little confused there.
All right. That's okay. Go ahead. Continue.
She was just talking about how we are competing for the same position, but that it's not as hard or bad as people would think.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually better in a sense, and also Prissy has had a lot of experience in college, and obviously playing D1 sports is a lot, and it's hard mentally and physically, but she's definitely guided me to become better because I see her, and obviously she's my older sister, so I watch her a lot and I learn from her. And anytime I'm having a hard time in practice, she just always comforts me, and just knowing that she's been through this always helps me because obviously me being a sophomore, I have a lot of developing to do, just like her too, but she's obviously developed in these past few years, so it's definitely going to help me in the future.
And I would imagine you guys will be playing against the University of Miami this year?
Yes, we will on October 2nd.
All right. Well, we look forward to the competition there. And good luck.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. Yes.
any other athletes that are in the space, could you please hit the request button and we'll let you in?
Yes, by all means. All right, do we see anyone else in here? Any other athletes in here? Do we have any other athletes? Do we see any other athletes in here? But
I don't see any for now, but I see we've got some requests from people. Do we want to allow more questions?
I think we should let's open it up a little bit until we get more athletes. More athletes come in. So for our YouTube audience, if you have a question, put it in the chat box and we'll get it answered. For our Twitter audience, please send a request button, and once you set, and we'll get you in. Also raise your hand before you speak, and we'll call on you. So let's get the next request. Let's get our request in. Let's put the next request in.
Colin Walsh.
Okay.
You're up.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is just more of a question towards the Ruiz family. I know that I asked Danny a little bit earlier, but I was just wondering if you guys can just let us know how the process went and how well it went for the foreign players. Example for Lou Headley and Mesidor as well. I know that they're more for Australia and Canada. So I know that you guys were doing some LifeWallet stuff over there. Just curious about how it went. If you can just kind of let everybody know how it went.
Why don't we get Alexis to answer this? Get Alexis to answer this.
Yeah, so let in Alexis.
All right, let's get Alexis in.
It was incredible how you guys did that. So I mean, shout out to you guys. Honestly, like that was incredible. So I just want to know kind of how the process went and how great it went.
So
Go ahead. Request to speak, Alexis.
Yeah, so while she's doing that, I'm going to give you sort of like the groundwork in terms of the rules and the laws applicable. But, hats off to Alexis. She actually got on a plane with Mesidor. And one of the issues that we have, which happened with Norchad also, is we can't pay for their travel. We can't do anything that has anything to do with payment in the United States of America or for work performed in the United States of America, because it's not an NCAA issue, it's an immigration issue. So she got on the plane, went to, Canada to film with our crew. We filmed, we called a lot of those evergreens, because obviously every time that something happens, all these players literally have to travel over there. Now, I know that Clay is still on, and I think Clay is roommates with Lou Headley. And Lou had the same situation. He had to travel to his country so that he could film there. But is Alexis on already? Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Some details.
Go ahead, Alexis. You have the floor.
Hi, thank you, guys. I think it's been an incredible experience to be able to do these NIL deals with international players, because they should have the same opportunity that any other student athlete has, right? When we're talking about name, image, and likeness, this is a property right that student athletes have. And sometimes they really don't understand it because it's tangible, right? And you can't see it. It's not like a piece of real estate that you understand the value. But Lou Headley, Akeem Mesidor, Norchad have gone beyond to try to make these deals happen. They go to their home country. We are in contact with a production company. They're working full time from dusk to dawn, doing interviews and commercials for us. So it definitely has been a unique experience, and we hope to provide the guidance that we've learned along the way to other administrators, because we know, we're setting the path for other student athletes in this area.
And I will add to that LifeWallet, from at least what I've gathered, may be the only company that can legitimately provide return on investment. And the reason why is because in the whole world, there's 123 countries that utilize what we call international classification of diagnosis. It's called an ICD code. And what that basically means is that there's 123 countries in the world
that use the same numbering system that we use in the U.S. for purposes of diagnosing medical conditions. So the reason why it works for us is in all these countries, we're expanding our LifeWallet and MSP platforms so that people can travel across the world with their app and be able to obtain medical services in other countries. Like right now, we got a request from South Africa. Well, we don't have any South African athletes yet, but we're expanding in such a way that it works for us to be able to get these deals put together. But they are complicated in the sense that it requires a lot of, orchestrating to do it the right way. And one of the things that people may not understand is, like, for example, when, the Cavender twins were flying over here, when Nigel Pack was flying over here, when Norchad does whatever he does, we as LifeWallet cannot pay for a lot of those things because it would technically be an NCAA violation. So we look at all the little details of what transpires in terms of, for example, if parents fly with their student athletes, it depends if it's in the contract or not, who has to pay for that. And it's not that we want to be cheap, because that's not the game plan, but it is that we need to be compliant. And Alexis has been, beyond incredible and putting everything together. And she has almost kind of single-handedly handled all these agreements for all these athletes. And, now we have Lorraine also in there. We have a bunch of other people on it. But, I don't know, Lorraine's been there just a couple of days because she started this week. But, there's a lot of work that goes on at MSP/LifeWallet. There's incredible staff. We have, almost 2 floors in their entirety, and people are really working hard across the board, not just for LifeWallet, but everything else.
Definitely, yeah. You guys have done a great job there. And last thing, I'll have them kind of kick me off, and somebody else can kind of come on. So, John, I actually played for the Weston Rattlers with your son Johnny back in the day. So that was a good time. So I've been kind of following you guys for a little bit now. So appreciate absolutely everything that you guys have done.
Was that with Ed Panzoli?
Ed Pizzoli, yeah. So my dad's name is Tom Walsh. So he was there, Ted Arpin, everybody like that. So yeah, that was with Ed Pizzoli's team there. So yeah, it was way back in the day.
Yeah, I think Johnny was like 10.
Yeah, it was way back in the day. So
if you remember, Johnny was a great player. He could play.
Yeah.
It was very good athlete, very good.
Yeah, damn good athlete for sure. So no, I appreciate everything that you guys have done for, even back in the day for us as little kids, and now for these young athletes there as well. And then the best part is, even Alexis kind of spoke about it a little bit, with all these kind of foreign athletes and everything like that. It does open up the door for more in the future, where a lot of other schools and a lot of other programs do not have the access to go ahead and do that. So I do appreciate everything that you guys have done. And Danny and Lorraine and Stock, you guys can kick me off, and I'll let somebody else come on and speak.
By the way,
thank you so much.
Do you see Ed?
Yeah, I see Ed all the time.
Oh man, Tom, I say hi. I love that guy. He's a great person.
For sure. Yeah, when I told my dad's a contractor, so whenever I told him that you guys were going to start kind of looking into building a stadium and everything like that, he had a bunch of ideas for, just the typical contractor type of deal. So he had a lot of different, things that he always suggested that I try to reach out. So, if there's ever anything.
Ed represents, or at least back then represented, charter schools USA. Yeah. And the gentleman that was sort of the head of construction for charter schools was the dad of a kid that played with Johnny also. He was a submarine pitcher. Woodley. Thomas Woodley.
Yeah.
So, good stuff. All right, great to hear from you.
Definitely, yeah.
I love those stories.
Definitely, yeah. It was definitely a great time back in the day for sure. So, no, it's great speaking with you again, and again, I'll have somebody else kind of take over from there. But thank you again for you and your family, and for MSP and LifeWallet for kind of taking the bull by the horns there and getting Miami back to the top there a little bit.
Thank you, brother. Be well.
Be well.
All right, thank you, Colin. Thank you, Colin. We're gonna get Uncle Ciro in next to speak. Ciro, you're up. Go ahead. I see you have your hand up.
Hey, Danny. First of all, thank you for once again putting this together. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you. It's really thank the Ruizes too, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you for the Ruizes. You guys are awesome for everything you do for the program. Alexis, quick shout out to you. You gave out tickets to my boy Hurricane Hank, who's listening right now to the Elite 8 game in Chicago. You gave him free tickets. So thank you for what you guys do, the Ruizes, and everything you guys do. Thank you for that. That was awesome. One love for that. But Danny and Stock, this is for my boy Stock. What up, my guy? Got a question for you. The 30 for 30 was on last night. The U was on last night. Caught it at, the rise with the Jimmy Johnson era. Late 80s. 88, 89 was a great year. 89, the bad boy Pistons, the Miami U, that was a great time. Did you guys get to catch that at all last night? Did you guys see that the 30 for 30 was on last night?
I did not. Anyone else did?
No, I did not. It was awesome. I mean, I feel like those Miami teams were just like the '89 Pistons, just like gritty, just like in your face. We're gonna dunk on you. We're gonna sack you. We're gonna give you the business. And guess what? You're gonna like it, or you're gonna hate us for it. Am I off on that or what?
No, you're not off at all.
The 30 for 30s are great.
Oh, the best.
I always recommend everybody watching when they get the chance, because that's where the U obviously started with their swagger, and now we're continuing it.
Yeah. Sorry, my question was a little long-winded. I'm playing with an injury. There's something in my eye. It's got like this weird burning sensation. Doesn't usually happen. Don't worry, Alexis. But thank you guys.
Feel better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight.
Hey, thank you, Ciro. Who do we want to get in next? Do we have any other athletes on?
I think Alexis told me that Hoffman was on.
All right, then let's get him on. Get him on, Stocks. Get him on, Lorraine.
I'm looking for him.
Okay.
I see Ahmad Richards is in the space. If he'd like to.
If he wants to get him on, please get him on.
Yeah, if you're an athlete, go ahead and request to speak for us so we can get you in.
Amon is my boy.
By the way, also, do we have any of the winners on from the raffle? If we have any winners from the raffle on, please request, just so you know.
Amon is on the mic.
All right, so you are on the air, Mr. Richards. Good evening, sir.
What's going on, man?
Good evening. How are you doing?
Doing good. I'm just listening there, honestly. Just sitting here chilling at the crib, just listening in on the good stuff.
Yes, it's good to always have you on anytime you like.
Daniel boy.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Amon.
What?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was really just listening, but I mean, I tell Alex and them all the time what they do is great. I always tell guys I know, about it. LifeWallet in general. I always hear great feedback. I was just with Tyler Van Dyke this weekend, doing this golf tournament, and we chopped it up for a quick second about it. Just overall, I say this all the time. I'm always arguing with people awful lot about this, but what you guys do is really great and it's amazing. And like the guys, it's really changing our lives for the better. I wish when I was playing, I wish we had, this kind of support, as far as just off the field and just knowledge as a whole, so I'll definitely salute you guys for that.
All right, we've got Chris L on. Chris L, do you have a question?
Yeah, one real quick. I know that it takes a lot of time getting ready for the season. Not only that, the academics at the U takes a toll on the guys. But I want to first recognize Clay. He got nominated to be the AFCA Good Works Team nomination this week. I just asked him about that and what him and his roommates doing. I know they have a charity.
Go ahead and unmute yourself, Clay, if you want to answer that question.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I appreciate the recognition. So what me and Lou are doing right now is we're raising money for the Grove Outreach Food Bank, which is in Coconut Grove. Basically, I volunteered there about 2 years ago, and I just had an incredible experience, and I really got kind of exposed to food insecurity in the area for the first time. It wasn't something I grew up seeing a lot, so I was pretty overwhelmed. Handing out food to the families that were in need, and this, like I said earlier, this is my last year at UM, and it is for Lou as well. We're both really involved in the community, and we were kind of just talking one day, and we were like, we should do something kind of big, and really just try to give back to the community in a big way. That was our idea. The goal is to raise 58,940 meals, because my number is 58 and Lou's is 94. Basically, $1 equals 9 meals. So what that equates to money-wise is about $6,550. Thus far, we've raised $5,900, which is absolutely incredible. I'm honestly blown away by how fast we've been able to do it. I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful to John and Chris, both who have made really big donations that have helped us so much. So I'm really grateful to both of you. And just all the reposts and everything, it's been incredible. And it just goes to show how awesome of a fan base we have and how supportive the fans are of us on the field and off. So
the good thing, Clay, is after you graduate, you're gonna come work for LifeWallet. So you have to stay in the mix.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. Coaching is my dream, but I wouldn't mind dipping my feet into the LifeWallet space.
Awesome. Thanks, Blake. We're proud of you and Lou on and on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, Chris.
Charlie Mitchell, you're up.
Hey guys, how's it going? One, I just have to say thank you to Clay for everything he's doing. Actually, he doesn't know this, but his mom was one of my sister's high school teachers. Randomly funny story, but I just wanted to ask how you guys kind of want to make this a more national kind of view. I know like us Miami fans know all about like the great things LifeWallet are doing. Myself, I'm a video producer. What I like to do is kind of just get the message out more and just any message out. So I was just kind of wondering how you guys are trying to get this message out, because it's obviously a great message to get it out to more people than just kind of the Miami community.
I can speak on getting out more than the Miami community because my name is Xavier Vet, by the way. I'm a tight end at Coastal Carolina. I'm a starting tight end, by the way, and I was playing behind Isaiah Likely, who just got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. I'm good friends with Ahmad, actually, and I'm good friends with Tyrese Chambers. He's in a NIL deal with LifeWallet, and he's from Baltimore, Maryland. I can say about Tyrese that he's grown as a man in general and is more knowledgeable in the financial sense. So just seeing his growth and development as a person really blew me away and took me back, and I really want to dive into LifeWallet because I know that you guys are really educating athletes, and I'm excited to learn more about that and outside the realm of football for real.
Awesome to hear. So Amon's known, my kids and myself for, I don't know, probably dates back 6 years, just about.
Yep.
So, he's seen, he's had quite a bit of pretty good experiences when my kids put parties together. He's had a lot of fun.
Oh, man.
So, look, what I've done, obviously, I tell people I graduated from law school, I was 22. And it seems like if it was yesterday, life goes quick. But what I've always tried to do just because I enjoy it. And I've always tried to become acquainted and be friends with my kids' friends and make it fun. So I have a really good relationship with all the kids that have gone through the different programs, whether it's football or baseball. And what I'm super happy with is, we have probably 10 to 12 athletes that are working now, in corporate America for either LifeWallet or MSP, and they're out there. And these are kids that played baseball, with my kids primarily. Some of them, are football and all kinds of athletes. And that's, Chance Mack, if you guys remember, he played for UM. He was playing baseball. I mean, he's one of our top guys, putting together deals with hospitals, and, he was in the medical device industry. I mean, it's just very impressive to see these kids, because you see them grow, from when they're 8, 9, 10 years old, and now they're in their 20s and they're in, the real world, and being able to see them filming. And look, just the other day, I don't know if you guys saw it, I tweeted it. We have some high school kids that just literally, one is Diana's daughter and the other one is one of the lawyers in our office's son. And I got goosebumps when I saw them, because they just put on the headset and they created their own podcast. And they had such chemistry, and to see that with such young kids, I mean, they're probably 16, 17 years old. And I think, keeping kids off the street and sharing all of that and that, sort of connection to the athletes, because they were there when we were raffling off the tickets, and they were so impressed with, the athletes, and they look up to them. I think that the whole cohesiveness is just amazing.
No, I definitely agree with that. Tyrese, for example, he's from Baltimore, and then more about that city in general is just not a really happy place. It's really dismal, and just not a lot of good comes from it. And ever since he's moved to Florida and experienced the new scenery and experience Florida has to offer, and joining LifeWallet and the NIL deal, I've seen tremendous changes and leaps of how he is in a financial sense, how he does with relationships with people, how he manages his money. It's a lot of to pick up so quick, and he just did it so well. And I'm just so proud of him, and I can see the influence he got from LifeWallet. So I was I'm trying to be a part. So I was talking to him all the time and just enjoying it, and trying to pick up little gems that he would drop on me. And I think I was truly inspired by Ahmad. He's my good friend. When because the football's gonna come to an end at one point, and I know that. But Ahmad showed me it's life outside of football. You can do grand things outside of football. You can start your own business, do business with your friends that you grew up with, and develop lifelong relationships. And go to your friend's wedding while you're still doing podcasts and playing Madden together and little fun stuff. Really enjoying life for what it is. And
absolutely, I got to tell you, I have 3 kids, and my daughter's now next week she actually takes the Florida bar. But the 2 boys that are very involved in both the law firm and MSP and LifeWallet. I mean, the amount of contacts that they have with kids and families and everybody that they played with is truly inspiring. It's about networking. Sometimes they say it's not what you know, but it's who you know, and that's really what it's about. That networking that you can contact. I mean, look, Alex, speaks to Melvin Bratton. Ironically, Melvin was my favorite player at the University of Miami football team when I was in school. And what are the chances that my favorite player that I looked up to and I thought was amazing back, when I was 17, 18 years old, is now in my office talking to my own son. I mean, those are things that you couldn't even kind of describe or put together, or that you would have ever imagined, at the time. Or that, Jimmy Johnson, that was the coach at the time, that then, obviously coached professionally, that he would be on a space with my kids. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that you build upon, and you really, it inspires you to do all the stuff that we do.
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you, by the way, and I'm really appreciative. I'm still listening to the show, so I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome. Our pleasure.
It is always our pleasure. Go ahead.
You should get Alex, I think Alex, my son, if he can speak, because out of everybody in the Ruiz side of the world, Alex is the one that's got the most connectivity to the outside world. I mean, he's got some really, really good alliances, like Dana White from the UFC and Jamie Foxx and Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, he's out there and he's very well networked. Alex?
Alex, go ahead. Unmute your mic, please.
Yeah, I'm here, guys. I don't know. I guess to touch upon the statements that were said earlier, that's how I've made stuff happen myself. It's always been, nice to everybody, personable and direct. And I'm a no bullshit guy. I tell people how it is and what exactly I'm doing. And that's why I've been able to, make stuff happen. I've been working since I was about 16 years old. Was when I signed up my first client for my dad. That's how I started. And I first started, when MSP was a startup, and before, it really got big. I was calling my friends, my friends' parents directly, asking them for leads for different things, and I would sign up, medical centers at that age, and that's kind of how I started, getting my feet wet in the business world. So that's how I just turned 23, but I have years and years of experience in terms of, on the street, making things happen, the hard way. I have about 99% of my contacts were made organically through myself, without my dad's help. And then, maybe 1% was people that, got introduced to me from his side that I've, branched out and gone through there and, little by little networked it from that point. But I know, how I always think about business as you can have a great idea, but it's really about how you can, make it blow up and network yourself to the point where, it's plug and play. Because that's kind of how I look at it and how I've been able to get to places and do different, do different deals. Because I think about, okay, as an entrepreneur, if I do this business, I can then talk to this guy that can then help me get to this guy that can then, like I have a meeting with Elon Musk, about doing cars with cigarette. Because, I networked it to the point where I can get in a room with him and sit down and he's willing to come sit and talk to me because one of my connections is very close to him. So, it's kind of that point in time where you have different things you want to do and it's the right time, the right place at the right time and the right, how to portray yourself and be genuine and, be straight up with what you want to get done and you can get things.
By the way, Alex, there's a guy I know that works for ESPN, like on the Spanish side in Miami. My buddy known him for a long time. I don't know if you know the name Sam Pagan.
Sam Pagan, I don't think I've heard of him. No.
Yeah, he's in Miami. I think he told me he works for ESPN. I think on the Latino side. I'll have to find out more info on that. I'll get back to you on it as soon as I get more.
Awesome.
All right, do we want to bring in some more questions?
Yeah, let me see. How many requests do we have right now? We all have. I think those are the same. Go ahead.
Chris has a question.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for bringing me up, Stuck and Danny Boy. Much appreciated. You guys do a great job. And thanks to the Ruiz family for hosting this, all you guys do, and offering to fly my son and I out on the 767 to College Station. And look forward to hearing the details. One question, John, on the biometric technology. The tickets you referenced, is that going to be accepted at College Station? Are they using that technology?
No, we're going to connect you to the tickets that we're getting through that system, but you're going to have to give it to them, as far as the normality of it. We do that internally from kind of our side of the world.
That's this year, but hopefully in the future, everyone across, it'll be kind of a prerequisite to get into a stadium that you're going to have to be using our technology. That's what we're aiming for. I was with the general manager of the Yankees, about 3 months ago, and I told him about everything we're doing. He's like, we got to get that for all our season ticket holders. So everyone understands at the highest level that this is the future of the world and how it's going and moving. So, to answer your question, but to kind of generalize it, to tie it back into what we're actually trying to get done, he's going to basically all the tickets are going to be
through our system, so that you're identified. Okay, that's your ticket. It gets sent to using your biometrics. But at the stadium over there, you're gonna have to do it the traditional way. But apparently, what we're trying to get done is to revolutionize that whole industry. By using our technology that's groundbreaking. We're using this in stadiums already in Mexico as test trials. So this technology is going to be elite, and we're going to make this take over the whole entire Miami sports program, that being the football program, baseball program, and basketball program first. And all the season ticket holders, are eventually going to have this, and you're going to have your own line to walk in, and everyone's going to be looking at you how you're getting in the stadium so fast, and they're in a longer line to get in.
Is it similar to Alex? I just signed up as a member to Clear.
This is Clear on steroids.
I love it.
Love it.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
It's amazing.
And just to add to that, so when you board the 767, your identification is also going to be through biometrics. So, and then when we get there for a security purpose, we're going to be able to know and identify everybody through biometrics. To follow up with what Alex was saying, which is all spot on, when we were in New York at the NASDAQ, when we took the company public, we actually met with the commissioner of baseball.
Rob Manfred.
So my son Johnny is spearheading getting the LifeWallet presentation to Major League Baseball. But we feel that we're growing very rapidly in that department because our biometric technology is already being used in the medical field. And if you've heard of Cano Health, which is all over the U.S., we're starting to retrofit all those centers with this technology. Would you really look at the dynamics of what happens in the healthcare world and even everything we do? When we talk about data and universes of data, every one of us, including myself, have our names in all these different universes of data, but they don't tie together. Because the only way you can tie my name, John Ruiz, to another database is if they had my social security in the right way and they tied it together. There's so many flaws in data that biometrics is kind of having like your fingerprint, your DNA. It's very specific. This is the wave of the future. I love it.
Well, to touch upon biometrics just one more time, the way to prevent fraud, this is going to be the future of the world, and what I kind of I'm going to start doing now in terms of the use case of the biometrics. So think about it as your credit card lives on your face. You no longer have to take out and use an Apple Wallet when you're paying. I know the guy that owns Chick-fil-A, which is Dan Cathy. I've spoken to him about this. He was amazed by it. Imagine that you go to pay at Chick-fil-A, and instead of having to take out your wallet, your Apple Wallet, or your credit card, or any of these things, they scan your face, and they go, okay, that's Alex Ruiz, and you have your fingerprints there as a two-factor authentication that you pick, okay, my thumb is my American Express, my pointer finger is my Visa, and my middle finger is my Bank of America card. So it basically scans your face, and then you pick which credit card you want to use right then and there, and you never have to take out anything. You never have to you can forget about bringing your wallet anywhere. All these things, and it's a lot faster and just more practical to be used. That's the way with the future, and what we're designing our technology to do. So when whoever said the mentioned Clear earlier, it's a lot more sophisticated than Clear. Yeah, it's a lot more sophisticated than Clear. It's going to be a combination of Clear, Square, all these different things together, but taking it to the next level. That's how you got to think about it. And Clear, by the way, is a $5 billion company, and Square is about a $60 billion company. I don't know when I looked at it, months before. Right now, I think the stock market went down, so it's about like a $50 billion market cap right now.
PayPal. What about PayPal also, Alex?
Yeah, no, these things, you got to think about it. This PayPal would use and license this technology from us. So think about it as American Express. Think about how many chargebacks they have a year. People that spend money or credit cards that are stolen. That isn't that you prevent this completely with this technology, because you know exactly at the point of transaction who the person that's transacting this is. On top of that, then you also, all these companies that are marketing, you can market to the exact demographic. You have it down to a science. So like, let's assume the New York Yankees can figure out exactly how many, people come to their stadium and what age demographics they're in. So that helps them in the marketing side. It helps them in the future of seeing, okay, where do they need to work on to get more people to the park. That's even more important in Miami, which is where we have an attendance problem for the Marlins. They need to turn to some of these, more creative ways to get people in the stadium and to make that team profitable, which is why our family's dying to get our hands on the team.
Yeah, what about here in Tampa Bay, Alex, to give you an idea with Tropicana Field, they were the first to go cashless, I think about a few years ago. I don't know if they've done the biometrics yet up here.
I don't think they have.
What's interesting, I was involved pretty early on with beacon technology. I don't know if you're familiar with that in NFCs, but it sounds like this is sort of the next generation.
That's exactly what that is. You're correct. So when you go to Disney World, I'm actually working this with Mel right now. When you go, Mel Bratton, that is. I'm sure everyone here knows who that is.
Yeah.
Of course.
So I'm working with him because we're connected to some of the top people at Disney World, the one in Orlando. So we're discussing with them. They have the magic bands that you put around your wrist, and it's an NFC, and it's a basically it turns into your credit card and everything on your wrist, your hotel key, everything's there. We're gonna start transitioning them. We've been in preliminary conversation to turn over to start using the LifeWallet technology, which would be exactly what I was explaining to you guys with using the clear and square metrics all in one. So basically, you'd be able to go to Disney World. You'd be able to go to Disney World and not have to carry anything, and your fast passes on your face. I say it on your face because it's using your biometrics, but you can pay from that, and again, it's great for them marketing wise because they can get exactly down to a science as to who's coming in and out.
So you can pay with that too? Like if you wanted to get like a soda or like some food or anything like that, can you pay with that?
Once we're done with it and we're it's in that phase, yes, you're gonna be able to do all that stuff with it. You're no longer gonna have to worry about renting out a locker because you have a wallet that doesn't want to fly out of your bag. You're gonna have all that stuff on your face.
That is awesome.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
So now is that like your dad mentioned something about a next generation or like a QR code on steroids. Is that going to be like an open source technology like a QR code, or will this be proprietary to you guys?
So think about this. Think about Amazon Web Services, which is AWS, which is what everyone 95% of people store their data in there. MSP uses some AWS as well, but for LifeWallet, we're going to basically create a whole entire ecosystem that is a database for all biometrics that will live on your face. So basically, there's going to be a whole entire chain in the cloud that stores everyone's biometric information. So then what we do is APIs.
Yeah, I was going to answer his question. So what happens is the reason why we've built LifeWallet the way that we have is because, like Alex explained, it lives in its own ecosystem. So from a protection point of view and security, it's not an open source from the point of view that once we have your biometrics, we don't store your actual face. What we store is 2,200 different points across your face that only our technology can decipher. So if somebody were to take something, there's no way for them to do anything with it because we're the only ones that have the key to open that up.
You would have to have it. So basically, what I was explaining is what you do is we have our system that is our metrics are built for healthcare information, and everyone's we have social security numbers and everything else that lives in our data in our ecosystem. So that's to the highest level of security. That goes without saying. So when it comes to using the biometrics that are in our system, what you do is you have different use cases. So you basically do APIs that you create to use for a purpose of payment. So what you do is you link your American Express to our system, and now you're paying using your American Express, using your biometrics that live on the LifeWallet system, and it all lives in the same ecosystem. So these things all live under that same cloud, which is basically how we're creating our own version of AWS, but for biometrics in our own system. That's what we're creating. We're creating our whole entire ecosystem, which is why we're literally building the largest repository of data ever created.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Also, yeah, can one of our listeners, Chris, wants to know about the ticket information. Can you go over that, please?
The ticket for the Texas
yes,
game,
correct. Yes,
for biometrics.
the Texas A&M game.
Okay, so that's a good segue because I have a hearing tomorrow at 7 in the morning, and I need to still read a couple hours. So let me explain to you what we're doing. But I think Alexis is on, and I thought Diana Diaz was going to be on, but I haven't seen her. Anyhow, so what's going to happen is there's actually 3 planes that are going to fly over there. There's the 767, which is where all of the ticket winners are going on, and we're going to have a whole security crew, and we're going to have, stewardesses and fine dining, and, everything's going to be top notch.
Yes.
We have 2 other planes that are going to go. They're Gulfstreams, and that's where basically our staff is going to go, and some of the people that work in the office, so that we can give the experience to all those that won on the raffle. So we're going to take off from Opelika, probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The flight's about 2 hours. The 767 has to land at George Bush Airport.
Yeah, Intercontinental.
Yeah, because it's a very big plane. It needs probably about 10,000 foot runway.
Yeah.
The other planes need about 5,500 foot runway so they can land in a closer direction. So we're going to get transportation to the game, and then, I think Danny and some others had indicated that they had rented rooms, which is probably the only way to do it, because the game starts at 9. It's going to be done probably by 12.
Yeah, remember, that's 9 o'clock Miami time, John, by the way. 8 o'clock local time.
Right, which is still, it's 11. By the time you drive, it's an hour and change. That's a little bit beating yourself up, getting on a flight afterwards for 2 hours. You're going to get home at 4 in the morning.
Okay.
So we're going to stay there that night, and then the following day, I figure maybe like noon, we'll get back together, drive back to the respective planes, and we take off back. And so we're all going to be leaving from Opelika.
Okay.
But it's pretty much the same place, and then obviously going to the game, and then we're going to get our LifeWallet security team to make sure that everybody's safe, and we're getting to the locations. So it should be a really, really good experience. In terms of those of you that are flying on the plane, it's a very unique aircraft. There's only about 5 of them in the entire world. And this one was retrofitted for purposes of the specific dynamics that we wanted to have in it, specifically us, because we fly a lot of times to a lot of these events in Las Vegas and other places, and we need to take a bunch of staff.
Yeah.
It seems like the plane is going to start to be chartered, after this by a lot of teams, college teams, professional teams. It's really going to be a great experience for those of you that are going. I apologize. I wish that we can do, but we're going to do more raffles later on, so I'm sure other people are going to get the opportunity to be able to be on it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. This is Vince. I'm lucky enough to be one of the ticket winners.
Yes.
And I so appreciate the raffle and the tickets. I appreciate everything LifeWallet's doing. A question I have, do you know if there'll be any announcements for any travel packages for those of us who were not lucky enough to win tickets on the plane?
I hadn't thought about it, but I appreciate you raising it. I'm gonna, Alexis is on the call. We'll try to see if one of our connections can provide something of that nature, and see if we can get a better sort of package deal.
I appreciate it, because I looked into tickets, travel packages with hotels and plane fare and everything, and goodness, they're up to around $2,000 for the travel package.
Really?
Yeah.
Including the hotel?
Yeah, hotel and airfare and rent a car, because I'd have to rent a car. So it's like, I'd probably want to come in like on Friday night and then leave on Sunday morning.
Right.
And it was close to $2,000.
What was the flight itself? How much was the flight?
767 $768 a person round trip.
Round trip, okay, 768. Okay. All right, let me see what I can do, and I'll figure out if there's another potential solution to that.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
Hey, John, another thing, what Chris has the same question. He only won game tickets, but he just needs to know how to go by getting those. I need to work on a flight. That's Chris's question.
Meaning how he's going to get the tickets?
No, that I don't know. Maybe if he can type it in for me, I'll greatly appreciate
I think his
it.
question was very similar to the last question we just heard, which was, trying to figure out, because he needs to get his ticket, his game ticket, and he has no flight. So he needs us to give him his game ticket, and then he needs to book a flight. So I think that a solution would be for us to figure out.
Yeah, he wants to know how. Yeah, he wants to know how, by the way. He wants to know how.
Our team will get on that.
Okay.
So I just got a text message from Diana Diaz. I guess she just joined in. So Alexis and Diana Diaz, both of them are the ones that are spearheading sort of the dynamics of how people are going to be handed the tickets and the times and so on and so forth.
So basically, he wants to know how to get the tickets. That's what he's asking.
Yeah. So, obviously, well, here's the reality of how it works. I bought all these tickets from the University of Miami, but in order to get them all in the same place, they give me the details of that. I got to find out Monday or Tuesday the location where they're at, and then they actually have to get them over to me. I don't have them yet because they're going to send them to me. I'm not even sure that the Texas A&M people have given them to UM yet. But certainly, obviously, there's still, almost 2 months before the game? Right?
Yeah, September 17th.
Right, so, obviously everybody's going to get their tickets, but I got to get them from UM first. I've got to find that out Monday or Tuesday, which is when I'm going to talk to them.
Yeah, they usually give you about X amount of tickets, because I think the visiting team is a lot of X amount. Consider it's a 102,000 seat stadium, I'm sure maybe 10, 20,000 would be the allotment. I'm not sure.
For the UM people, no, there's no.
And I think they give you. I think the visiting team gets X number of tickets.
Well, they got to buy it though. They don't get them free.
No, I understand that. What I'm saying, they have to purchase that. They have to put that allotted. Because I know when you're a visiting team on the road, you have to allot X amount of tickets for UM to buy.
Yes.
That was my point.
So when I did the Elite 8, that had a limited number. Obviously, that was a little different situation.
Yeah.
I forgot. I was only able to buy, I'm trying to remember now if it was 50 tickets or something. So right now they allotted me 120. I got to try to figure out the dynamics of where that's located and then, tell you guys and then get them to you.
Yeah, because Go ahead. Sorry about that.
Mr. Ruiz, would you if you do something with travel packages, would you announce that on Twitter? Would we get an email, or how would we look for that?
Yeah, both Diana, which I've not found. Oh, my son Johnny just joined also, so he can speak now. So if you guys, so Alexis is on there, and I'm sure she's writing this down, and I'm not sure where Diana is. She said she was on, but I haven't seen her. Anyways, they'll get back to us. We'll start finding that out, and then we'll tweet it through both LifeWallet Sports, and then I'll retweet it.
Okay, I see
That
D.
would be a big help. Thank you so much.
Sorry about that. I see D with his hand up. Go ahead, D. You're up.
Well, first of all, I like to thank y'all because I won the tickets and the plane ticket.
Oh wow! Okay.
So I got the double whammy. And second, I have my wife signing up for LifeWallet because she got a rare blood disease condition. So if she get cut, she can bleed out extremely fast.
Oh wow!
She always tell me the name, I always forget it. But LifeWallet is great because I don't have to remember it anymore. And second is like when y'all say like the bioscan, are y'all using it for this process? Like y'all gonna send us an email, like if some of us stay out of town, and then like we scan our face in or something, or how do that work?
Yeah, so when we send you the tickets, we'll probably end up sending them to you by sending you a text that when you press it, it'll link you to LifeWallet Sports, and then with your facial recognition, we'll store it and connect it to your face. So therefore, we can identify you from that point forward.
And should we, because you said the plane will get there and we'll stay overnight, should we book a room there or?
Yeah, we're going to give you more specifics of that. The one that I know may have more information about that is Danny Boy, because I heard him, I think on a different space that I was on.
Okay.
I heard you were talking about the tickets, right?
Yeah, I have it. I have my ticket already.
Take care of everybody's hotel arrangements.
Yeah, that's the big one. And reimbursement's another big one too, by the way. That's another big one because I had heard that when John, correct, I don't know if you want to confirm or deny this. You had reimbursed the people that paid for their hotel in there. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if you can confirm that.
No, for the Elite Eight.
For the Elite Eight, that's what I meant. For the Elite Eight.
I did the airfare, not the rooms, because it was flying in and out.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
Okay, well, so
So
that.
is this gonna be flying out, or are we booking rooms?
No, you're gonna have to book a room because we are not flying in and out, unless everybody wants to fly in and out. I mean, I can go out.
That, especially that's an hour and a half haul from College Station back to Houston.
Yeah.
That is
Well, there's also the question of where in what town we're booking the room. Are we booking the room in Houston or are we booking the room in College Station?
I already have College Station, but I already have it for Friday, so I'd have to change mine to Saturday. If I can do that.
And then the other question is, I'm going to be coming in, John. I was lucky enough that you invited me and my son to come on the plane. We're coming in from Jersey.
Okay.
Is that part of the reimbursement, our travel to Miami?
No, because it gets a little hairy. So what happens is, we most people leave from here, and the issue is that as much as I would want to do that, then it becomes sort of open-ended because we got people from all over the United States.
Yeah, he's got a point. He's got a point, Bruce. He's got a point there.
Yeah.
So is any way like everybody who going on the plane can like kind of try to book the same hotel so we can like be like together to know, okay, we get back on the plane, blah blah blah.
No, that won't be an issue because I would think that the best thing to do is for everybody to try to stay in College Town, and then the following day, let's say we decide, I figure 11 in the morning, 12 noon, everybody goes back, meets in one location. We'll take transportation back to the plane, and then we'll all fly back.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that's a smart move because this way everybody's in one place. So like, for example, hey, we're going to meet in this location. Be at this location by X time.
Correct.
So, John, everyone should book a room for Saturday night, not Friday, Saturday night.
Yeah, Friday night is the day before we even fly over there.
Right,
See,
so Saturday night.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Should I book a room? Do I need a rental car to get back and forth or get around?
Well, no, I would say that. Hold on, but are you on the flight, the 767, or you're flying independently?
No, I'm on the 767 flight.
No, if you're with us on the 767, you're gonna have transportation to the plane, and once we take you from the plane, you're gonna end up at the gate. The only thing that you would need to do is probably take an Uber, depending on where the hotel is. Just from the gate to the hotel.
I'll give you an idea also, and I'll add to that. The place I have now is the Super 8. I could walk from the stadium to the hotel. I can do that as is now. That's the room I have now. I'm going to see if I can push it back from Friday to Saturday. I can do that, but I don't think that'll be an issue because I'm already in their system. But I'm going to see if I can move it, change my reservation from Friday to Saturday and still leave Sunday, but move it back a day. I'm going to see if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it this late in the game, but I'll find out tomorrow.
I could tell. Can I speak?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Thank you. If you guys are staying in College Station, you will need to book your rooms now. The hotels are price gouging right now. These hotels are like almost $400 and $500 a night in College Station.
Oh yeah, and they get you for that. They gouge you big time. Trust me when I tell you. It happened to me in 17 when I went to Tallahassee. Because some of the rooms are over. What happened to me was when I was in Tallahassee in 17, I thought I had a room for 4 days. It turned out the hotel, the first hotel I stayed at was overbooked. And they had issues with the people that overbooked it. So I had to go to another hotel and I got charged $400 a night. And needless to say, I wasn't too happy about it.
Right. So a lot of the UM players, I'm a UM aunt. A lot of the UM moms, we're staying in Houston and driving over.
Yeah, I think Houston would be smart too. By the way, I think Houston's a smart smart move to do Saturday night. But yeah, driving back as an
But listen, I know that Danny, that you got a room on that Friday. But I think if you guys wanted to, the other idea is to when the game ends, we drive back to. It doesn't have to be Houston. We can drive somewhere away from.
In between.
Get a cheaper rate room.
Yeah, or another idea I had, John. What about Airbnbs?
Yeah, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, we can do that, and they're cheaper also. So if it comes to that, yes, that can be done. But yeah, I can look into that tomorrow. If you want me to look into that tomorrow, I'll do that.
But can I say something, Mr. Ruiz? Yeah. You did say that you guys have transportation, correct?
Yes.
I think it would be smart to drive back to Houston for the people because it's very expensive, like right now, for the hotel rooms.
Yeah, if you guys want to drive back after the game, I got no problem with that.
We'll
drive back.
It makes sense for you guys to do that, to drive back to Houston and get hotels in Houston. Is more economical, especially for people that's coming from different places. Yeah, I think it would be better for you guys to find because the hotel rooms in College Station.
Especially on game weekend.
Like right now, today, a night, not for the whole weekend, a night.
Oh yeah, they gouge you for that. Trust me, like you said, they got me in 17 when I was in Tallahassee. I said, and I told my buddy next door. Well, by the way, my buddy next door is a Canes fan, a huge Canes fan. Speaks highly of all of you guys. Speaks highly of the Ruiz family, very highly. You should meet him. He's a good guy.
Anyone on here that's looking for flights from South Florida, check Delta. I got a flight flying in Saturday morning into Houston, into Bush, for $108 on Delta.
Wow.
There's a little layover in Atlanta, but you get there like 9 o'clock Saturday morning in Houston.
That's a great rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, John, you said you would have the itineraries. How will that work? How will the itineraries work?
So Diana, you should probably let her join in and speak. And
Yeah.
I apologize, but I have to jump off.
All right, yeah, please.
Johnny's also on there. He can join in also.
Yeah, I got to get off also. I have a meeting tomorrow morning.
All right, John, Alex, thank you very much. We'll try to get Diana on.
Stay on because Diana will be
Yes.
on. Alexis is still on, and
Yes.
then my son Johnny.
Yeah, I see Johnny on too.
Also.
Yeah, Johnny's on.
Yeah, so pleasure speaking to you guys. I apologize. I have a hearing, and I still got to read a couple hours.
Hey, go ahead, John.
And the hearing's at 7 a.m. So
Good luck, John. Knock him dead.
all right, guys. Take care.
Take care, Alex. Okay. Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Oh, by the way, Stocks, Lorraine, do you see Diana on? Do you see Diana anywhere?
I don't see her. Can she raise her hand or request to speak?
I'll try to get her on. Let me look for Diana myself. Hold on a minute. Oh, where is Diana? Where is Diana? Diana.
Oh, Gabe is still on.
All right, get him on. Get him in.
Hey, Gabe, what's going on, my man?
I'll invite Diana.
I'm not too sure how long it can be on. I got that 7 a.m. workout.
Okay, yeah, I won't keep you on too much longer.
With my nephew?
Mike? Yeah, I am.
Yeah, well, you may want to share this with the team. His grandmother passed away last night, and he's very upset. And he's going to live tomorrow, and he's going to fly up to New York.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, she had a stroke last week, and
they pulled the plug on her and she passed away. He's very, very upset.
Please,
about
my deepest and heartfelt condolences go out to you and your family at this very difficult time.
Very much. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you. Yeah, listen. I just requested Diana to come in, by the way, but if anyone has to go, if you have to go, do what you have to do. Thank you so much for coming in. By all means, and hey, you're more than welcome to come on anytime you like. You always have that. Let me see does anyone see Diana or any of the players' families on? Yep, we got a football mom. We're going to add her in. I want to get her on too. Let's see. Let me see. Let's try to get as many as Miss Gloria. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Hi. Good evening. This is K5's mom. Hey, Gloria. Hey, Tish. How are you, girl? Good. Thank you. I just got on because I wanted to. Let me say this: K's moms are the best moms. Before I get started. I just got on and I missed everything, so I'm wondering, are you guys talking about something for parents getting to the games in Texas?
Yeah, I think the best thing, I think somebody was saying it. Letitia, were you the one that said it earlier?
Yeah. Well, Gloria's coming from the West Coast, so
yeah, that's an easy shot. It's an easy shot to fly into Houston in the bush, or if you're going Southwest, Hobby.
Oh, okay.
They have Hobby too, but yeah, Intercontinental's easy.
I know I missed out. I wanted to just chime in and find out what I missed. Yes. Are you coming to the game? It's on my list. I'm gonna try to. I'm preparing for my trip there to Florida for MT in North Carolina because it'll be Keyshawn's birthday.
Oh, by the way, Chris says he got a room in Houston for $125 a night with either a king or two doubles.
I'm telling you, Houston is the way to go. I mean, College Station is
Oh yeah, forget about it. Unless you get an Airbnb, unless
we can maybe connect to do. I heard at the end of the conversation, Airbnbs or whatever the case may be, to make things cheaper because I know everything is so expensive.
Oh yeah, and I've done Airbnb before, and it's very, very good. I've done it a few times over the years, and it's very, very good to have.
So hold on, Johnny, you're on the space.
Okay, thank you for taking my question.
Anytime.
Johnny, could you give us an update on the stadium, if you can?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's going on, my man?
I'm walking in the house right now, so give me maybe a minute. If you can answer, some other questions, and I'll jump in maybe 5 minutes.
Sure, no problem. Take your time. I see Sherry wants to speak. By the way, if you see Diana on Lorraine or Stocks, please get her in right away.
All right, I'll look for her again.
I'm gonna text her right now.
All right. Go ahead. Does anyone want to speak? So we're gonna get. We see Charlie has spoken earlier. T.E. Chodymonger. So no, he's not in earlier. I want to see who else is in. Let's see if I can get anyone else. Malman. Okay, Malman. Okay, let me. Malman.
Oh, she's on. Oh, okay, she's on.
All right, get her in.
Diana, I don't see you. Oh, here she is. I'm gonna add you. Go ahead. Oh, I didn't see you.
If there's an extra speaker, please. If there's an extra speaker, please go to listener so we can get someone else in because Twitter only allows you 11 speakers. So just so you know.
You can turn me off, Daniel.
Okay, go ahead, Tisha. Go ahead. Switch to listener.
Thank you so much, Tisha.
Thank you, Tisha. All right, so get Diana in again. Let's get Diana on. Let's make sure we get her in.
I just invited her to speak.
Okay, please do. Thanks, Doc. The great Diana Diaz.
I'm also ready when you guys are, if you want me to answer anything about the stadium.
Okay,
Johnny.
Hey, Diana, how are you? Finally. Hey, Diana.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Wow.
you finally found me in the dozens of people.
Yeah,
I heard Johnny too. Hi, Johnny. We finally found you. We've got lots of questions about the trip. Do you have anything to add about the trip out to Texas? I think you guys have covered a lot of it. Obviously, we want to try to accommodate the challenges of getting there. The most ideal, obviously, would have been to have everyone on the flight, get you guys to George W., the airport there, and then drive you all by Sprinter the hour and a half to 2 hours to the game, and then turn around and bring everyone back. But I know there's lots of people like Danny Boy and others who want to, be there a little bit longer and have hotel stays. So that's why we started exploring that possibility. But as one of the moms mentioned, and we all know, those game weekends, not only is it a challenge for transportation, Uber rides, but all those prices get jacked up. So
yeah.
We're obviously, trying, but I think, sometimes the most well-intentioned things, are the most difficult. No good deed goes unpunished, right? So we want to make it so that we can have a guarantee of people being able to go there, travel by Sprinter to get to the game, be able to watch the game, get people back safely onto the Sprinter to the airplane, and then back home. I think, obviously, explore as we are, other options to give everybody, the options to stay in hotels and whatnot. But, it's one of those things we have to explore pretty quickly because, as we're pointing out, just looking at the hotel rooms now, it's getting up there $500 to $700 per night, and that's a lot of people can't afford to foot those bills by themselves. And obviously, Alexis is on too, rules and restrictions with respect to what we can accommodate based on the rules that were delineated when we did the raffle. So we're going to try to work it all out to guarantee that we get people there as promised and back. But as we're seeing, the hotel component may be challenging.
Yeah, have you ever looked at something like group rates, Diana?
Yes, we've started exploring, when we're looking at that weekend and the surrounding areas, the challenge would be it's 160 people.
Yeah.
So there would be people scattered, through, the Airbnbs and hotels.
Yeah.
That starts getting challenging, making sure that everyone gets back to the plane in time to be able to make the flight home, right?
Yeah.
I just want to preface all that and all those expectations with that, I know hardcore we've done where we've done flights there, enjoyed the game, and everyone's so hyped that on the way back, even if it is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, all that matters is really to be there and support the team for the game, right?
Yeah. My thinking would have been, Diana, this is just me talking, because like I've told you, I already have my room for Friday through Sunday. But if I don't know if I can this late, if I can move my room back, checking in instead of Friday, check in Saturday, and leave Sunday. That was the room I have now was Friday, Sunday.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I'm going to see if I can.
Able to accommodate.
And I got it for before those prices went up. I got mine for $295. I got mine. That's when I got mine.
Great.
That was back in March.
Now, but try switching that though, because that might change those rates that you previously locked in because you did it in advance. Even now, a couple months out, it's already changing because now that the season's really starting to get closer, those
they're going to go up through the roof.
Towns profit off of these game day weekends, so those prices that are $200 when you locked it in are going to be $5 and up
easily
for each individual night, and that becomes a lot for people to try to manage that trip.
Yeah, that's going to be hard for me to change this late in the game. I gotta see, maybe I get a B&B. I can get a B&B if it came to it. And if
Diana, this is Lorraine. It sounds like a better possibility of after the game getting back on the buses and going back and finding a hotel in Houston.
Yeah.
It could be, but even Houston is challenging. Remember that we have 100, or rather the people on the plane alone
not including then the other ticket holders. That we're going to try to do our best, but I always like to manage expectations because again, no good deed goes unpunished, and the last thing we want is for anyone to be disappointed in the original promise of being able to get people there, enjoy the game, and get them back.
So hold on, hey guys, whoever's speaking, please mute your mic so let Diana speak, please. Thank you.
But we're going to explore every possible avenue, Lorraine. But again, the last thing we would ever want to do is not make it possible for someone that is well-intentioned once it gets to the game, but maybe not even be able to afford a night's stay. For some individuals, that's hard. So, then you would be putting some of those folks in a bind that were promised the flight there, the game, and the flight back to now incur expenses that they didn't anticipate going into the raffle. So we need to be respectful of those folks too. We're going to try to do everything we can again. But, like I said, sometimes the most well-intentioned deeds have consequences when not everyone is on the same playing field, pun intended.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, but we're excited and we're going to make it happen. And like I said, we're exploring every other avenue to be able to accommodate people should they want to explore the room option rather than go right back on the plane.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate everything you're doing, and we'll wait to hear from you. Yeah,
Yes.
Of course, absolutely. Our team's going to explore every option. And Lorraine, great to have you. It's been great working with you. For those of you who don't know, she just started working with us and Alexis. And so you'll probably be part of these conversations this week, too.
Yes, and I'm loving it so far. And thank you for the welcome. I've really enjoyed my first week at LifeWallet. It's a great place to work.
Excellent. Let's get Patrick Faison on. Patrick, you're up. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's get Pat. Then go ahead, Stock. Let's let Patrick speak. Patrick, go ahead.
Hey, good evening. My name is Patrick. I am also one of the ticket winners, and but I didn't get the win the flight part. But I'll probably just say I guess I would probably say is for the ones that didn't get the flight, I would probably recommend to just get a hotel in Houston. I think the prices are pretty manageable versus going into College Station. So if you're able to maybe possibly reserve or anything like that, or if all of y'all are members of in Costco and everything, you can probably try to find some deals that way.
Yeah, they also have VBRO. They also have VBROs, by the way. Just so you may want to look into that too. So, Stock, you had something?
No, I wanted Johnny to take over the mic and if he could give us an update on what's going on.
Oh yes.
With the stadium, because I know his time is very, very precious.
Yes.
Well,
So, Johnny, you have the floor, sir.
All right, appreciate it. I had said some of the stuff at the raffle the other day on the Twitter. So I don't know if anyone kind of heard that. So I will try to kind of give a brief explanation of what I said there. And if there's any questions, feel free to ask. But so we have a stadium.
Like I said, for those of you on YouTube, any questions, ask.
That's kind of the goal right now. Again, that's not set in stone, but that's kind of the plan. There's around 16,000 parking spots, 2,000 of which are underground. The other 14,000 are scattered around the park. I would say about 12,000 of them will be able to be tailgate-able spots where the other ones might be in a garage. So I think there's plenty of tailgate space. There's also a Miami Live concept, which is to replicate the Texas Live. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that. I know many people are, but essentially it's just a big bar where there's many food options and obviously drinking, and it's another entertainment spot. So there's going to be a lot of different ways that people can enjoy that property. It's going to maintain its look and feel as a park, but at the same time there will be some retail. There will be some some different ways that we can engage that park. I feel like right now, although people like the park and use it, I think that we can, make it a little bit more functional for those of you that have been there and use it. I know I play flag football there probably once or twice a week. So that's kind of like my feel of the park because I've been there. I grew up there. I used to train there in high school. So that's just my take. Again, other people will have their own opinion. But I think it's a world-class venue that will be used for several different types of events, like either UFC or the actual football games or other events. So we're very excited about the project, and if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer. But again, we're still working through a lot of these details, and we're working with HKS, who built several of these world-class facilities like AT&T. They just did SoFi where the Super Bowl was held, so they know what it takes to get a very well thought out project completed. So I kind of lean on them for guidance. So most of the ideas came from them in terms of where to lay the stadium on the property, why to do it that certain way. And I know that those are most of the questions people had. So if there's anything else, feel free to ask.
Yeah, Johnny, I want to ask you regarding mass transit. I know Alex mentioned months ago he spoke to Brightline regarding possible transportation going up to now Orlando and eventually points west to Tampa. Have you spoken with, let's say, Tri-Rail? Have you spoken with, for example, have you spoken with Brightline, Mass Transit, Tri-Rail, Metro Dade regarding going to the game and coming back after the game, especially for night games? Have you spoken with them?
So what we're doing is we're going to have transportation from the stadium to like the University of Miami campus, and there's a metro rail there, so I think that will alleviate a lot of the mass transit issues because there's already the metro rail there. But my brother does have a relationship with Brightline and a lot of these other organizations, so he's been in contact with them. I don't know to what degree. That's probably a better question that he would answer.
Yeah, and basically because as you know, they have Grand Central station for Brightline already, and they have those shuttle buses. I'm hoping those shuttle buses can get to Tropical from Grand Central Station. I'm just hoping that's the case.
I would imagine that the transportation wouldn't be an issue because, again, these stadiums take a long time to plan. But I think that that's something that obviously the county's going to have to work out with us, and obviously we would want people to be able to get there as easily as possible, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
I think transporting people to campus is going to be a huge thing because the metro rail is right there, and we're only 2.6 miles or something like that.
So you're thinking there'll be a shuttle bus?
Yeah. So you know how the students right now get shuttled from campus to Hard Rock?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Similar concept, but I think it would be for also just fans in general.
Yeah.
Because since it's a shorter distance, you're able to have the same amount of buses go back and forth a lot quicker. So like if you do it now from Hard Rock to the campus, it may be an hour, and those buses have a difficult time doing multiple routes, like basically going back and forth. But if you do it with buses now, the way that they do it, you can accommodate a lot of the fans or, some people who may want to park on campus and then get transportation to the game. So again, it just makes it a lot easier when you're closer to campus because realistically, the students are going to drive probably around 10% of the attendance, you would imagine, if you get enough, students to participate and the program is what it's supposed to be. So between that, you can really do a good job of getting people over there through mass transit.
Okay.
And Danny, right? Johnny's talking about Brightline or Metro Rail. Metro Rail goes near the Brightline station in downtown Miami, and you can catch Brightline out from there.
Yeah, and also Metro Mover does that too. That's why I was thinking I'm thinking Bayfront Park. Personally, would have been better, but since I like the tropical concept, I think tropical works fine as well. I see we have a speaker here. We have let's get Charlie. Let's get Charlie, and then I'll get Miami Dilfer.
Actually, I'm gonna let Miami Dilfer go first. I think he had it before, to be honest.
All right, go ahead, Dilfer. You're up. Dilfer, go ahead, Dilfer.
mention cigarette racing. Can you talk about the Dana White meeting, how he was, and then I wanted to follow up. How often are you going out on the water? And then, what is your favorite boat in your portfolio?
All right, so pretty good questions. So the Dana White, encounter, I guess, if you want to call it. He's a really good guy. He's a very down-to-earth person. I think he's a family guy. He was there with his son. It was actually his son's 21st birthday. So we allowed him to use one of the cigarette boats just as a favor to him, so his son could enjoy it for his 21st birthday. So that's kind of how that happened. We spoke to him. I know my brother went to go see him in Vegas a couple months before, and he's good friends with Dana, and Dana's a really good guy that really wants to see this world be a better place. I think he's a family guy that really looks out for his son. He's an amazing father, and I think what he's doing with the UFC is great. He's obviously running a fantastic business right now that's very profitable, and they're doing a great job of promoting all these fighters, and they're putting on a great production. So he's a great guy, and I have nothing negative to say about him. What you see is what you get, I guess. There's not a lot of celebrities, I guess, that I've met that are like that. But he's a very down-to-earth guy, a normal guy you can have a conversation with. So it was a very pleasant experience with him. In terms of cigarette, we pretty much go on the water every weekend, at least in the summer when the weather is good. With Miami, you never know, though, because in a second it can start raining or whatever, so you got to be careful. We enjoy the thing.
All over?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Which inlet do you go out of?
So my house is here actually on the water, so we generally leave from there. So we go out through Gables Estates Canal, generally speaking, but other times we go out through Monty's, which is there in the Grove. So those are the two primary places we generally leave from.
That's incredible. Thanks, man. Keep up the good work. Thanks.
Yeah, and in terms of my favorite boat, I guess it depends. For me, the 59 Tirana is probably the best all-around boat we have right now, just because of the sheer size and speed. The combination is awesome, and you have the luxury of having all the space you have. But in terms of performance, the 515 is probably...
Do you fish it all, too?
We fish a little bit, and we have some surprises coming out with cigarette in the next couple months that the fishermen will enjoy. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you.
What's the fastest you ever got the boat up to, and what's it
We actually took Dana on the 515 the other day. I think we hit like 112 or something like that. He was I think it was like 112, 120, something like that. He was freaking out. So
what kind of dog is that?
It's my dog. She's 8 months, and she's a little brat that I just got home, so she wants some attention.
All right.
He's a Bernedoodle. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog and a Poodle mixed.
Okay, but by the way, there was a question one of our listeners had. I think Diana, or Alexis can answer this. When will we be receiving the email that is the text message for the tickets?
I can answer. I know Alexis is on, but we actually emailed everyone already, an initial email, all the winners, to confirm their email addresses to be sent to us so that we could be sure to distribute the tickets and information when the time came to the correct email addresses. So if you won, then you already received an initial email. And then obviously we'll follow up with further details as we get down the line, especially after now looking into potential, hotel possibilities for people.
Okay, I
Since
see.
we will have to fly in away from College Station.
Yeah, especially, John mentioned that earlier. By the way, Charlie, you had a question?
Yeah, I had a two-part question, one kind of from earlier conversation, but first about the stadium. I was just wondering if you guys have had any type of looked at sponsorships with gambling companies like BetMGM, like these other companies, because I feel like that's for new stadiums, that's a big partnership. And the second part was just about digital infrastructure for LifeWallet. I know you guys were talking about AWS. I'm not sure if anyone in the chat can help with that, but I have some experience with digital infrastructure, and I was just curious you guys said you were competing with AWS, so are you working with Digital Bridge? Like what other? I know that's a local Florida company for digital storage. I was just curious, kind of more about how. I mean, storing all that information, obviously, a big thing, and Amazon has their Whole Foods is how they store their information. So I was kind of just curious how worldwide how you guys would store that information. Thanks.
So, can you repeat the stadium question again? I can answer the data storage question also. So, I guess I'll just answer that one first and then repeat your stadium question.
I can just say it quick. I was just curious if you guys worked with like any gambling companies or anything like that to kind of help build, like think of like Philadelphia, you know, that's a big thing. With gambling becoming legal, is that something you want to build like a sports book at the stadium? Is that kind of my question too?
Yeah, so I think that's a complicated thing. Again, it's not that we're not open to it. It just has to be done legally, and I think that right now they're actually trying to pass some legislation. I think there's actually something on the ballot now in November, if I'm correct, here in the state of Florida, that will try to fix kind of the gambling rules we have now, because I know right now the Indian, territories kind of control that. Like Hard Rock and stuff had an issue with their application because it wasn't on Indian territory or something like that. So I know that there's some stuff being worked out there. So that's definitely a possibility. And I actually think that really helps the fan experience, and it really enhances the entire atmosphere of the game and all that. So I'm definitely open to it, and that's something that we need to look into once the legislation is passed to allow that. I'm all on board with that. In terms of storing data for LifeWallet, we store our data on AWS, and we are so we're not really competing with Amazon. We actually use them to store data, as many companies do. And we are SOC 2 HIPAA compliant and HITRUST certified, which is the highest level of security you can get in terms of storing healthcare information. So, we've surpassed every legal, amount of scrutiny you can have. We've had investors look at all of our systems. We've also had tons of different providers look at our systems, and we've never had an issue with that. And we have massive insurance policies in case there is a breach, just in case, to protect everyone. So I think that the data security, we've gone above and beyond what we can possibly do. We have the highest level possible. Like, there's no higher level of security you can have. So that's something people should feel comfortable about, because we've taken the steps to do it the right way. And to make, like, for example, Apple is not HIPAA compliant or SOC 2 certified. They have none of those certifications. So we do, which is kind of where we separate ourselves from all these other platforms that are doing it.
And I think you answered my questions really fully. And kind of I was just a little bit building off of just the recent purchase that Amazon did of the medical purchase that they had, I think, yesterday. Just didn't know if that kind of impacted anything you guys are doing.
To be honest with you, I didn't see what they purchased. So I guess I'll have to do some research myself on that. But I don't think it really affects anything we're doing. Because the way that it works is that we own our own data, right? So we store everyone's data, and once it's in the system, it's kind of there. So we don't have to worry about Amazon or anyone else. We actually work with a lot of those companies. So it's not that we're trying to really have a competition with them over whose data is where. LifeWallet is meant to store everyone's data in one location so that it's all, talking to each other, so that if there is some, emergency, it is able to pump up to the front. For example, someone mentioned earlier that their wife had some rare blood condition that is, he doesn't even remember the name of it, and if she has some issue, she could, obviously pass away a lot faster than a normal person would. So that's something, if there's an emergency situation, somebody would want to know within the first 2 or 3 minutes that they get on the scene. So that's kind of like where we operate and why we think ours is a lot different than everyone else. But again, it will come to fruition when everyone sees, the full potential of LifeWallet, which we're still obviously we have a product, but we're still developing and making it better every day, and that's part of the challenge that we have at MSP and LifeWallet.
Thank you. You really cleared it up. You really just kind of in a different lane, and what you kind of explained it in a good way. So thank you for helping me. That's all I had.
No problem. Appreciate the question.
Okay, yeah.
Can I ask a question for Diana?
Hi, of course. How are you?
Hi, Diana. This is Ron. First off, I'm a winner of the tickets and the flight, and so appreciative of you and John and Alexis and the whole LifeWallet crew. Really looking forward to it. I had already booked. I just booked. When I found out that I was going to be flying in, I did book a room in College Station, so I wanted to come in just a little bit on the thoughts with the hotel. Houston, as you probably are aware, is just a very, very vast city. I mean, there are so many different parts of Houston. So if we end up driving back after the game, I mean, we could literally be in 50 different hotels all over.
100%.
That's my concern. It's like, when we get to Houston, how does that work? College Station is so small. We're all going to be within a 10-minute distance of wherever we need to be the next morning. So, that was just kind of my thought process while I was going tonight.
Right. It's like I mentioned, and all of this is intention to try to help those who had suggested the hotel stay. But
For the YouTube audience, can you hear what the speakers are saying? Type to let me know.
Firsthand, and my uncle is an Aggie.
Okay.
So imagine, the
Great, John. Good to have you here.
As well intentioned as we Miamians are, right? That Miami did just fly in. It's very spread out, like you mentioned. So, initially when we did the raffle, it was with the intention of airfare there, or rather air travel. So everyone would be together. We would make sure that the whole group gets to the game safely through, sprinter vans and whatnot, have a tailgate, enjoy the game. And the intention was to get everybody back to the plane and then fly people home. Obviously, because it's such a large plane, we would need to fly in about an hour and a half time. It's the travel time to get to College Station, so we couldn't fly into College Station. So that's what we had initially, obviously, offered with a raffle. Now that folks are bringing up the the options of staying with a hotel, and we're going to explore it, right? John is like the Santa Claus of Daytona. if anyone can pull things off, and that's why we all are part of this, have gotten to where we are, because we don't say no. No is not part of the equation, right? So
does not exist.
Right. We obviously try to explore every option and ways to make things happen. But I do want to manage expectations because, like you mentioned, what we don't want is then for us not to be able to fulfill our initial obligation of getting people safely there with transportation, tickets, and back, right? If people if it ends up that we're not able to help in that process, with respect to being respectful of people who wanted to stay, we still want to be able to get those who are diehards and want to go to the game and back even without those other, accommodations. We want to be able to take that into consideration, right? Because you don't want to disappoint people who went into this for the airfare and the tickets, which is what the raffle is all about. So as well intentioned as we're going to be in trying to find a way to make this happen, I would imagine that everyone would be realistic about what you just said, logistics, because we want to have a good experience at the end and not turn something so wonderful into a bad experience for anyone, right? By managing expectations of that, because like you said, College Station that weekend is booked, packed. It's a huge game for the city. It's a huge revenue maker. So those prices for hotel stays, if there are any that you can still get at this point outside of the Airbnb options, is out of the price range a lot of people can afford. So then, the suggestion of going to Houston, there are some logistical issues there as well. So we're going to explore all that. But you're right, in just the few hours that we've gone into the research of this, it is challenging to try to make sure that everyone gets back to the plane safely also.
Right.
Because as John mentioned earlier, our financial obligations and things that we delineated on the front end of the rules of this raffle, we have to abide by as well. So
what do you think is our best bet? What do you think, if you were in my shoes, what's my best bet? Should I try to book a room in Houston as well and then have two and then cancel one when we find out what the plan is? Because like I said, I already have one in College Station.
I think, to be honest with you, I think we need to have an internal discussion, and then outside of a space to perhaps have a call with all the winners, right?
Okay.
Because those are the people we have to uphold our obligations and expectations with. So I imagine that the next steps would be us having an internal Zoom with all of the winners that we have, particularly the travel component with, which are those 12 winners that won 2 tickets. So it's, or rather 24. So we can, have that call with them internally to see what's best for everyone, to make sure we fulfill our obligations to those groups.
Right, and at the very least, maybe pick 2 or 3 hotels down in Houston that would be in, fairly close proximity.
Everyone would be together.
Yeah,
correct.
Exactly.
Because to have everyone spread out, Airbnb here, College Station there, and again, transportation, Ubers. I mean, if you guys have tried to go to away games, even the Ubers are difficult to find on game days. And then those
I had a bad experience in 2019. I'll give you a little story. I was in Orlando. We played Florida. When you try to get an Uber, you wait a little while. Maybe the surge goes down. That surge did not go down all night.
I was at that. You would see people walking for miles because they couldn't get Ubers anywhere near the vicinity of the stadium.
No.
So yes, that's not it. To think that it's a normal night where you could get an Uber very easily at a decent rate is not realistic. I don't think.
Yeah.
But yes. So to everyone listening who is part of the raffle and winners, we'll definitely be contacting you to have more of an internal conversation about what the best way to accommodate everyone, so that we would be able to explore that hotel option.
Okay.
Thanks, Diana.
Oh,
Did you have a question?
I just had a question for Diana. I sent you a DM about this. I wasn't a raffle winner, but John, prior to the raffle, offered and extended an invitation to my son and I.
Oh yes, of course. You're there actually. I believe we were going to follow up with an email. We were on the list. I know Alexis is on this as well. So yes, congratulations. There are a few folks, and as well as the military winner. So.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, my friend. Congrats.
Yes, by all means. And I told Alex, yes, I'm going to be sitting next to him, just so he knows.
Does anybody have any more questions for Johnny or Diana?
Yeah, I know Duncan was wanting to speak, so let Duncan speak. Let's let Duncan go ahead, man.
No, that's all right. I'm just here to listen.
Okay, I know D had a question. He probably dropped off. He just became a listener. Like you said, ask any more questions, especially from the YouTube audience that have a question for Johnny or Diana. If not, then what do you think? What do you think, guys? Lorraine Stock.
Well, I think we need to wrap up for the night.
Oh, D, hold on. We got D in. So yeah, D. Yeah, we're gonna get D in. Yeah, let's get D. Let D take us home. D, go ahead, man. You're up.
How you doing? I'm the winner, D'Angelo Howard in Atlantic Beach. I know you said we received the initial email, but I haven't.
So do us a favor, if anyone listening, if we sent an email to the email addresses that you all submitted. So if you could DM us if it's different, then please DM LifeWallet Sports, or rather Alexis and I even, DM us, so that we can be sure that we get the correct email address, because I was there when those emails were sent to the email addresses that you all registered with, but some of them may not match what you wanted. So we ask that each person, each winner replied to that email to confirm that they received it, and that's the email address that we're going to use for any communications moving forward. So if you didn't, please DM us the email address that you'd like us to use.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. Oh, yeah, Diana, yesterday I was walking, and a little side note, I was watching old coverage of the Marlins World Series win from 2003. Belkis Neray, Craig Stevens, and Steve Shapiro were in New York, along with one of your, I think, I forget who the other reporter was. But did you cover the parade by chance?
Of course I did. As a matter of fact, at that time, I covered, for those of you who didn't know, so I worked at 7 for 23 plus years, almost 24 years. And yes, I was pregnant covering the Marlins and the parade and all the excitement around. So I did see that. You had sent that.
Yeah, and Richard Loomis was one of the reporters, if I'm not mistaken. Richard Nemes, yes. He was in Hialeah.
That was a great time.
Yes, so.
Good times. Hopefully we'll see that again.
Yes.
I was talking about it earlier. So looking forward to maybe having that happen in the next few years.
Yes. All right. So if anything else, Lorraine thinks stocks we should wrap up. There are no more questions.
No, it was a great night.
Great space.
Great space. I want to take this opportunity to thank Stock, Lorraine, the Ruiz family, Alexis and Diana, and everyone that came on tonight. And for the YouTube audience, thank you so much for doing this. Let's do this again down the road. And by the way, Diana, if you have anything on the itinerary, please let us know so we can get planned accordingly on it. So
We'll do. We'll be circulating those emails to the winners separately, not on these platforms.
Obviously, yes.
If anyone has not already received an email from us, because we use the email addresses that you registered with, please DM Alexis and myself or LifeWallet Sports, and we'll take care of it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very, very much, everyone. Yes. And enjoy your night.
Thank you. Great space, Danny. Great job, Lorraine. Good education on biometrics. The narrative of what I took from is to buy the stock in MSP recovery.
Yes, I told my brother-in-law about it. He follows Stock. You'd like him too, Stock, by the way, but I'll tell you that DM offline. But anyway, guys, take care. Have a good night. Go Canes, and let's have a great season.
All right. Thanks for joining, everybody.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Good night. I think we had a good space. We had a good space, people. Nah, the old saying. Quality. I'd like to take this time to thank everybody that showed up on the YouTube space as well. And have a good night, everyone. Go Canes, and here's to a great season. This will drop on Anchor tomorrow morning, by the way.